Room up a little bit. What about you?
Chilling. My game came in the mail, yo.
Like already came.
Yeah, because
That's
it
what's up.
like for some reason they couldn't deliver it yesterday. I don't know what the hell was going on with them. You know,
Right.
I'm at the point now where I'm just doing like I'm just looking forward to doing unboxings at this point. It's fun.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just to open up shit in on videos is fun. That's I want to do more of them.
Yeah, I
But
don't blame you.
we will be doing those segments like that I talked about right after you get on break.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to it because I had those planned for like the past 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, I took a break from doing album reviews because I do album reviews with you all the time. So I wanted to do other shit, but that's gonna be like that segment is gonna be like another piece to the channel, and I'm gonna do that. Like it's just gonna be for Mondays though.
Okay.
Like even if we don't go live with it, we could record it and I'll just drop it on Monday.
That's
You
cool
know
with
what I
me.
mean? But there's other shit like I want to do. Like I'm planning on doing like some comic book reviews and stuff this year. So there's other shit I want to do besides music on here. But in the meantime, it's unboxings. That's what I'm doing.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up my list right quick. Yeah, I'm down for anything and shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Dope review we did earlier.
Yeah, that was good. I like that Shantae Moore album. That was dope. That was dope.
Ready for the Grammys next month.
Yes. You know they're gonna rob somebody that don't deserve it, but it's gonna
Right.
be fun. I think it's gonna be fun to see somebody I like gotta win it. You know what I mean? Somebody I like gotta win.
Sound like you finding some albums right now.
Huh?
I said you sound like you finding some albums right now.
No, I didn't buy too many new ones this year. I'm only going for the old school shit first. The new stuff I can always get.
Got
You know
you.
what I'm saying? But I got like a couple of releases from last year, but it wasn't like the stuff on the list, except for like one. That's my thing. Like I hunt for the old school shit because those are the rarest ones. That's most expensive. I go for that first. The recent shit you can always find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this was such a good year, man. I might have a few honorable mentions.
Huh?
This was such a good year for hip hop. I might have a few
It
honorable
was.
mentions.
It's, you know what I mean? I feel like the last couple of years it's been good. You know what I'm saying? Compared to year like 10 years ago, there's a lot of shit I didn't care for.
Mm, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna have like two honorable mentions. Ooh,
Okay.
yeah, my list might be a bit controversial.
Oh boy. Controversy. That's what we about. You already know.
It's on a check.
Controversy. Niggas must be sleeping. You know Eric is asleep. Where's Ronnie and Sam at? Cause they always here.
Right. Well, this shouldn't be too long anyway. So
Right.
okay. It's- Okay, let me charge up my laptop and we should be good to go.
Yeah. Oh, Sam, you made it. A real one. We can't do a show with retarded ass Q because he don't know about this shit. You gotta talk to real heads about this.
I'm gonna share the video to the community tab too.
Okay.
Yes, yes, my money just hit too. More bounce to the amps.
Yeah, man. Let's get it.
All right, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
All right.
All right, what's up, you two? We're back again with you. It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Shaw with me,
Yo.
and we are going to do the top 10 hip hop albums of 2022. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a very. Originally, I did say that I was going to do this tomorrow afternoon, but I just take it easy a bit tomorrow. I got double to do on Friday and stuff like that too. So I'm just like, you know what? We can knock this out the park. As long as I'm still within my StreamYard minutes, we should be good to go. You know what I'm saying? So this list was a bit hard to make because honestly, as chaotic as 2022 was, the hip hop music that came out, the hip hop music that came out this year and stuff like that was arguably very good. You know what I'm saying? There was some albums I was not expecting to be as good as I thought it was. Some records, some records honestly took me by surprise. Some
Right.
rappers returned after a long hiatus. You know what I'm saying? Which we'll get into that in a minute. Um, my honorable mentions. Make sure y'all pay attention to those because I really wanted to include them on the list. I really, really wanted to do. But at the same time, I'm just like, and since it's still we're keeping up with the 10 anniversary and stuff like that too, I'm on to doing like top 10 lists. So without further ado, let's get the shit started.
Yeah.
Now, my number 10 is gonna be Amani Caesars with the list part two. You know what I'm saying? Amani Caesars
That's on my
literally one of
honorable
the
mention.
you know that's on your honorable mention.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so you guys should know Amani Caesar. She's a female rapper, part of the whole Griselda clique and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Um, the first list that came out, I think about a couple, I think like 2020,
Yeah.
2020, 2021, one of them years, you know what I'm saying, was a very good album. But the list two, fucking fire, you know what I'm saying? Production was a bit more boom bapish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love songs like Meth and Mary was dope, Survival of the Illest, Diana, man,
Fire.
the whole production was like very soulful with a bit of a basement vibe to it, you know what I'm saying? You know, and we did talk about this album too. Yeah.
Yes.
So y'all should check out the review we did on this one. It's Amani Caesar with the Liz Part 2.
My number 10 is West Side Gun, Hitler Wears Hermes, Part 10. Ironically, I think you saved the best for last. Wasn't a fan of a lot of those other um Hitler joints like 7, 8, 9. It was like he sounded like he was going through the motions on that one. But like part 6 was like the last one that I really enjoyed from him. And then like when he was dropping he still was dropping heat, Pray for Paris was a great album. I liked Fly God is an awesome god too. I think Smoke God Cooks on a lot of those tracks was a star really of that album. The was it God Don't Make the Sunshine? That was a dope album. But this album, he had some big hitters on here. The Black Star joint, Peppers, love that joint. They should have added that to their album. You know what I mean? The science class joint, that was fire. That's like my favorite joint. I think that's the Swiss Beats joint. I haven't heard. You know how we feel about Swiss Beats,
Yeah.
and I haven't liked. I felt like Swiss Beats fell off as a producer a long time ago. But I don't know if he had that shit in his back pocket or if that's some shit he just made. But that shit is fire. Um, the what's the joint? The joint the Red Death, the posse joint at the end, crazy. That joint is like bananas. You know what I'm saying? I love that joint. This was a good album. Definitely, I was surprised. I know because I saw him on Peter Rosenberg. He was talking with him about the retiring, and he's not retiring, but at that
Yeah,
time he
yeah.
kept retiring from the game, and you know he was just gonna do the executive thing, but he has like a whole bunch of stuff lined up for this year. He still has the Madlib album that hasn't dropped. He has the Michelle Records, whatever it is that's gonna be coming out. Um, you know, as well as the other artists on Griselda. So then they have another soundtrack coming out for a movie. So he has a lot of stuff lined up
There's
this
a
year.
movie.
He mentioned another soundtrack that I think they
Oh
have another
shit.
movie coming out. Yeah, we
Oh
you know
shit.
how we felt about the first movie, but
Yeah.
it was good. The soundtrack was good. That movie was a different story.
Right.
Um, yeah, he mentioned he has another soundtrack coming out for a movie. So hopefully that movie is better than the first one. But this album was definitely dope. I definitely enjoyed this. I know he's still dropping joints. He dropped a video today actually. Yesterday actually for forgot what joint it was. But yeah, like this is the West Side Gun that I missed for a couple projects, at least with this series. But he did his thing. Griselda had a strong year. And like I said, like Amani Caesar, the list two was on my honorable mention because I think it was a dope album, and I definitely enjoyed part two a little bit more than part one. The production was better to me, and she's like doing a little bit of singing on her choruses and stuff now, and but I just felt like it was dope. You know what I'm saying? The Diana joint, one of my favorite
Ooh.
records. Her and what's that dude? Kodak Black. That was fire.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Griselda had a strong year. So
Oh yeah. Griselda was killing it this year.
oh yeah,
All right. We had number 9. Yeah, number 9. I'm still on the Griselda train. I got
okay,
Conway with God Don't Make Mistakes.
nice.
This was a very good album right here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Yeah, man, this album, fucking fire ass album. You know what I'm saying? Originally, this was actually supposed to have been his debut album, but it kept getting pushed back and stuff like that too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Lock Low was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Beanie Siegel's up on that shit too. My
Right.
favorite track, one of my favorite tracks was like Channel Pearls with Jill Scott. We had
Yeah,
Jill
that's
Scott
my
actually
joint. That's the joint that he was pushing to get nominated for the Grammys, and they passed up on it.
bastards.
So I
But but
don't.
but but Future got
Right.
nominated, right?
Exactly. So I don't get that.
But Future wasn't making that much noise like that this year.
Well, I don't listen to
But
Future
I,
anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what noise he was making, but I'm like, and I just go to show you the Grammys don't know shit. Like for them to pass up on a song that Joe Scott is actually rapping on, it makes no sense to me.
it don't. Yeah, but the production on here was very good. Just that typical Griselda production that they're famous for and stuff like that too.
Right.
I've always loved Conway's pen game and how some of his concepts have gotten a bit more better. Well, I'm
Right.
not gonna say better because he still does his thing, but like some of his he has like a lot more to talk about and stuff like
Oh,
that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number 9 pick.
All right, my number 9 is Ransom. No Rest for the Wicked. Love Ransom from day one. When I listened to Big
Yeah.
Scott the 18, that should have been they should have been you know bigger, but Ransom has always been one of my favorite lyricists. He's from Jersey, got bars for days. This was a dope album. The production, especially, I enjoyed on this album. And you hear joints like Overnight Success and Compromise is one of my favorites. Redemption, Imperial Glaciers, and I believe he dropped 2 albums last year, but this one was the joint. Like this one, definitely one of his best albums to date. And yeah, man, like Ransom is a dude that he consistently drops solid stuff. I haven't heard nothing whack from him yet. You know, definitely enjoyed this album. I love the album cover too, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he drops this year. So I know he's down with 38 Special and the Trust music group. So he definitely putting out fire.
Yes, he is putting out fire and shit. All right. My number 8, I got Rock Marciano and Alchemist with Alpha Man's Bones.
So you actually like that joint? 'Cause I didn't like everything on that album.
Yeah, that's why it's my number 8.
I remember
Yeah.
when we did the album review. I'm like, I've heard better from Rock Marcy. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was. I don't think it was not Rock Marcy. I feel like it was more of the Alchemist production on that album. And I'm surprised because I love Alchemist and he's giving everybody else here. It is something about that album. Like this is not the album that I was expecting from Rock Marcy and Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? And they've worked together many times before. It's just some tracks I wasn't feeling more than others.
I feel you. And I was very close to putting the Currency album he did with Alchemist on this
That's on
list
my
and stuff
list.
like that.
You see
That's an
that
honorable
that
mention.
album I love. I'm like, again, he's worked with Currency before, but I don't know. It's like some when we was doing that review, it's like some songs I like, some songs I didn't like on that album, I've never said that about Alchemist. So I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll grow on me in years to come. I didn't care for all the songs on there.
Yeah, it'd be like that, It'd be like
Yeah,
that shit. But yeah, this record right here was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got that boom bapish production that Rock Marciano is famous for. Um, I'm not gonna put it up there with some of his best works, like fucking
right.
Marsburg and shit like that too, which
Oh
we
yeah,
definitely got to talk about in the future
definitely,
and stuff too. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? But yeah, but with this one right here, I feel like it's a very, 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 very dope album. You know what I'm saying? Alchemist to me definitely did his thing on this one. I like it.
No doubt. Um, I got what we at number 8.
Yeah.
I Number 8 for me is Black Thought and Danger Mouse with Cheat Codes. I definitely enjoyed this album. This was a surprise too because I didn't just like came out of the blue. I didn't hear about him, doing another album. And after the EPs he's done in the past with Salam Remy and Ninth Wonder, I really wasn't looking for a Black Thought album. And I heard this album with Danger Mouse. So I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. Definitely his best album as a solo artist. And Danger Mouse gave him some dope ass production, some real grimy ass beats, and it's different from what you would expect from Danger Mouse, like with the Gnarls Barkley project and stuff like that. But you had a lot of dope joints on here. No Gold Teeth. You had the joint with MF Doom. There's a lot of dope joints. He had a joint with Conway on here. What was the name of that joint again? I think it's Saltwater. That was like one of my favorites. And this felt like a real solo album from Black Thought. It felt like this is the album you should have gave us years ago. what I'm saying? Instead of giving us EPs with Ninth Wonder and and Salam Remy, and I love those producers, but I didn't feel none of those songs with them. They didn't feel like they had a chemistry. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, and this is the thing now. Like this is the norm for hip hop. Like we're getting some of our favorite artists doing collab albums with legendary producers, and sometimes they're not always gonna have that chemistry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Right.
times they will, but I felt like with Black Thought and Danger Mouse, they had that chemistry, and they really haven't worked together before then. And I know they did an interview with Sway in the Morning, and Black Thought was talking about they had planned this album like years ago, even before the pandemic happened. They were planning on doing it, but I guess because like this his schedule with the Roots and with Jimmy Fallon, it kept getting in the way. And once the pandemic happened, like they really focused in on doing the album. You know what I'm saying? But they had this album planned before for years ago already, and it felt like a complete album from him, and the chemistry was there with them. And he just announced he's coming out with a new album in April. So um, looking forward to hearing that and seeing what it is. But
Right.
this was a great album. I definitely enjoyed this, and salute to Black Thought.
Definitely, definitely. That's actually my number seven pick too.
Okay.
This was the album I had to listen to before I came up and finished up my list and stuff like that too.
Right.
Um, this was a very, 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 very dope record right
Uh-huh.
here. I agree. This was the album from Black Flag Should came out years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To me, his best project to date. Yeah, I fucking said, you know what I'm saying? I didn't care for that fucking stream of thought, whatever you want to
I
call
ain't
call
like that.
that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't care for. I know it got him like a lot new fan base, but I mean to which its own. I like songs like fucking No Gold Teeth was good. You
Okay.
know, Police with MF Doom. Rest in peace to MF fucking Doom, by the way. That was a very dope record and shit. It's crazy too because Barack Obama actually said that was one of his favorite hip hop tracks of
Oh,
2022
right.
and shit.
He said that.
Yeah, because Barack Obama always reveals what he be jamming to in his iPod or some shit like that, or whatever
Right.
and stuff too. So, um, yeah, man, fucking cheat. The title track alone was pretty good and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? This is actually a very, very, very dope project in my personal opinion and stuff too. I definitely want to do a review on this record. I definitely want to do a review on this record
Oh
one
yeah,
day
for sure, for
and
sure,
stuff too. You know what
definitely.
I'm saying? So, this is Black Out and Danger Mouse cheat codes 2022.
Number 7 for me is Currency and Alchemist Continuance. I actually got it on vinyl. This is the only release on this list that I have because I didn't. I like I said, like I'm look. I only buy old school shit. Like the new shit, unless it's something I really want, I can always get that. But this is the only release. Shout out to Killer Tapes. He sent me this for Christmas on vinyl, and this was a great album by Currency and the Alchemist. And I've been a fan of Currency since like 2009. You know what I'm saying? So like I remember going on the Dat Piff website and downloading his early mixtapes and shit, like back when he was down with a Dame Dash. And coming from the South, he was just different. He don't even sound like a Southern artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he got the Southern twang, but he spit like an East Coast cat. And every mixtape, every album I've checked for Weekend at Bernie's, the was it Saturday Night Drive-In, Stone Immaculate, one of my favorite albums from him, Harvard Blue, Fire in the Sky, Covert Coupe, a classic album with him and Alchemist. That was like their first time working together. Everything he's dropped, I've been a fan of, and he's like one of the most consistent artists still after so many years, still doing it now, still coming out with heat. And this was a great album. You know what I'm saying? Like from track one, Half Moon Mornings, real mellow joint. I love the video for that. He had the joint with Havoc and Wiz Khalifa, Corvette Rally Stripes. That was fire. Just to hear Havoc from Mobb Deep with Wiz Khalifa, it was crazy. Styles P, Whale Watching. That was a banging. And Styles P is another artist that Currency has done stuff with. You know, in the past they had like EPs together and stuff, and the Tonight Show. Like he got endurance runners with Larry. Larry June is another artist. He's that dude. He had a great album out this year as well. This was definitely one of my favorites. Like I said, like I love Currency stuff, and he's killing it. Him and Alchemist have that chemistry that I think a lot of artists they want. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to do a collab album with somebody, you got to think it's Alchemist. It's Alchemist or Hit Boy at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't get Hit Boy, next best thing is Alchemist, and they definitely delivered on this album. So shout out to Killer Tapes again for this. I wasn't expecting it. He hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I got something coming to you in the mail." I was like, "What is it?" He didn't tell me. It came. I'm like, "Oh shit!" So definitely got the glad to have this in the collection. And yeah, man, this was a great album.
Yeah, man, that's definitely in my honorable mention and shit too. Number 7 is Black Star with No Fear of Time. The second studio album in like 24 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be very real. I was not expecting them to be that good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do I like it more? Do I like it more than most different talent call you All Black Star?
Right.
I have to be quite honest. I feel like it's on the same length. You know?
Of the first album? You feel like it's on the first album? Yeah, that's what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck no.
You don't think so?
No. I like the fact that they actually stuck to their word and they came out and they were keeping their fans always aware of what was going on. Like I remember when Talib had posted like him and Yasin Bey was like, like they at the computer and they like going through songs and all that. But the album was short. It's only like 9 songs, and then you find out later that they did a shit ton of songs with other people. They have a song with Nas. Why didn't they put that on the album? You know what I'm saying? They did a song with Westside Gun for Hitler Wish Man's 10. Why is that not on the album? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they did a shitload of songs, but they decided to just pick 9 songs for this album. You only been out in like 25 years. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, the whole streaming fiasco with that platform they had the album on, they wasn't releasing it anywhere else. Like, come on, bro. Like you wanted, and there's so many people that's been born since your first album that don't know who the hell you are. This is not the proper way to introduce your you guys to the new generation. And the album was good. Like again, we did the review for it. I think, like I said, I think Talib Kweli, he's a dope lyricist. But at this point, I think his best shit is with Yasin Bey. Like Yasin Bey clearly brought out his best lyrical bars in years on this Black Star album. But I don't think it's fucking with the first album. I think the first album is on a whole different level.
Yeah, the first album is way more.
When you have like that was Ruckus Records is a historic hip hop label. When at that time, when you got people like High and Mighty and you got Pharoahe Monch dropping classics and the Sound Bomb and shit, and when they came out with their album and you hearing joints like Brown Skin Lady and Redefinition, and I'm like, yo, I feel like that's their best album. I don't think we're gonna get a better Black Star album than the first one. And like if they drop something else, it will be dope. I don't think it's gonna fuck with the first one. I think the first one is just on a different level. But this album was good. It was good. I just feel like only 9 songs. Come on, like you've been gone for 25 years. Like if you give us 14, 15 songs, that would have been great. They gave us 9 songs, and on top of that, they made it harder for people to even stream the damn album. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I almost forgot that they came out with the shit because I'm like, it's 9 songs.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I really wish the album could have been longer, but at the same time, the reason why I said it's the same length was because like I can listen to this album now, and I can say like how much how hip hop has aged and stuff like that to its best point. Like I get your point. Don't get me wrong. I get your point. I feel like to this day, I feel like the first one was way more influential and way more iconic. You know what I'm
Then
saying?
what is
But
this one then? What is this one to you then?
I feel
If
like this
if the
one was
first
just
one was more influential to the culture and to rap, what is this one going to be?
a very well regarded follow up to a classic album.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I felt like it was more of a teaser than anything. It didn't feel like a complete project to me.
And I
You know what I'm
and I
saying?
get that. I get it.
Like
Yeah,
even going back to like Black Thought, like when he was dropping those EPs, I'm like, this MC is regarded as one of the best ever, right? Why are you doing EPs when you could be doing full length projects? You know what I'm saying? Because that you've done up until that point, he's done every album with the Roots was a full length album. They don't do EPs, they do full length albums. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you're working with a legendary producer like Salam Remy or Ninth Wonder, why not come up with a full album? The Ninth Wonder has done full albums with Smith and Wesson. That was great. And shit with Buckshot and Talib. Like, why are you coming up with EP? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when he came out with cheat codes with Danger Mouse, it felt like a real album. Like this is the album you should have dropped years ago. Because people know you got the bars. We were just waiting for him to come out with an actual solo album that'd be like, yo, this is the album that okay, he's solidified as a solo artist now. He showed us already that he could do. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole thing with the whole Black Door shit. But like Black Store been gone for 25 years. Like, why are you coming out with only 9 songs? And you worked on a ton of songs that they later came out with online, but that it could have been on the album. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's
Like
my
like I
that's my
said, it's good. Like I love Madlib. It's good that they did shit with Madlib and it gave them a different sound. And I felt like the best thing about that album was Talib ball for ball. He stood ground with Yasin Bey. And I've heard all of Talib's stuff from Quality all the way till now. He hasn't sounded this good lyrically in years. And I guess maybe it's because he didn't want to get overshadowed by Yasin Bey because then he would hear it online. But he was to me he had a lot of the songs on there. I think Talib he stole the show on those songs. You know what I'm saying? But it was good. I just wish it was longer. Like you have there's songs coming out now that wasn't on the album. Why wasn't those songs on there? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I know
So
what you're saying.
hopefully they come out. They don't let us wait. Like don't let us wait for another 25 years to come out. Like come out with something this year, a full length album that people want to hear. With Madlib again, or they can pick another producer, whoever. But come out with something again.
All right. Well, that's my number seven pick. Then.
All right. My number. Where we at? My number 6 is another album we discussed this year, Mayhem Lauren and Davinger, Black Vladimir. I love Mayhem Lauren. Been a fan of his for a lot of years, and
Yeah, number
the
six.
stuff he's done with Action Bronson and shit like that. And this was one of his best albums. Definitely, Davinger's production gave him that grimy Griselda sound on a lot of the tracks. You know, it was Airplane Mode was one of my favorites on here. Conflict Resolution. Um, Valedictorians. He also had a drum with Conway on here. He had West Gun on here. Flea Lord is on here as well on Top Green Leather. That was a banger. This is definitely a solid boom bap album. If you love Damage's production and the Griselda sound, this is definitely an album to check out. The he did his thing. The bars is there, everything. Like he definitely killed it. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites of 2022.
Yes, sir. All right. Number where we at? Number five. Yeah, number five. We are gonna go with Joey Badass for 2000. This came out 5 years after All American Badass. Another very good album. This album to me was a very, very, very dope record. You know what I'm saying? Because around this time, Joey Badass was getting into his acting bug. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Most notably, he was on fucking Mr. Robot, and of course,
Yeah.
he was on fucking Raising
Power.
Canaan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Raising Canaan, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And he came out with this project right here, and every track on this record is a banger. Like, I definitely gotta get into some Joey Badass reviews.
Yeah.
We did All American Badass. I know that.
That was good. Yeah.
So I think we might do a double between 1999. That was a mixtape, but
Love
still,
that joint.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love pretty much everything on this album. Like the Baddest was dope. The nice little intro and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Brand new 911 with West Side Gun. Again, that was another dope record and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? We got written in the star. We got written in the stars. Another good record and stuff too. Um, Chris Brown collaborated on Welcome Back was good and shit too. Yeah, this whole record was another great record from 2022 from a rapper like we haven't heard from in a minute, and I'm probably very proud I've heard this shit. So
That
Joey
was a good
Badass.
comeback. Yeah. I enjoyed that. Conway is my number five. God Don't Make Mistakes. A great album. Love the production. He had his features on there. Rick Ross is on here. Ti. We got Beanie Siegel. I haven't heard Beans in a long time. Novel. Joe Scott kicking the verse on Wild Chapters. Fire. You know, my favorite song was Stressed, just for the fact that he talked about mental health, and that's something that we don't hear a lot in rap anymore. At least from like a lyricist like Conway, and I think the way that he did it in his own flow and everything was dope. And it reminded me of like the Helter Skelter joint, the therapy joint, and it was real dark and but still dope at the same time. And that was a great record. Wild Chapters with Ti Novel, another banger that I enjoyed. Piano Love, that was a great joint. This was definitely a solid album. One of Conway's best albums, because he has others that I love. I loved Goat and Black Tape, and this was definitely for like his official debut is a great debut album.
Yeah, very, very. I agree with you 100%. All right, number four. This probably is the most recent entry on our list. Is fucking Absol with Herbert. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that was good.
Again, we're dealing with somebody whose last album I want to say was from 2016 and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Possibly like his most personal album to date. You know what I'm saying? Because I love Absol. Absol's dope and shit like that. But at the same time, his discography was kind of hit or miss. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The these days album for me was just like not his strongest at whatsoever
That's
and
the one I
stuff like
didn't
that.
care for.
Yeah. Now do what thou wilt was good. I like that one and stuff too. But the Herbert album, yeah, again, this is a very, very, very strong album and stuff like that too. He has songs like Art of Seduction. He has songs like Do Better, which was dope. No Report Card, a very dope track right there too. Positive vibes only. You know, excuse me. Yeah, Top Dog was doing his thing this year. This album, SZA's album, Kendrick's album was knocking it out the park and stuff like that too. So, yes, sir.
All right, number four for me, another Griselda member, Benny with Ten to Talk 4. I was definitely anticipating this album after he gave us Burden of Proof with Hit Boy, a classic. you know, and the last Ten and Talk 3 was a classic as well. And I didn't expect nothing less, and he didn't disappoint. And when he dropped Johnny P's Caddy with Cole, I was like, yo, this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? Cole did his thing on that shit, a banging beat by Alchemist. You know, 10 More Commandments, the sequel to Biggie's classic 10 Crack Commandments, and we actually had Diddy on there with him, and that was a bang. I love the video for that. They paid homage to Brooklyn and to Biggie, and Tyson versus Ali with Conway. That was a great track. You know, Uncle Bun with 38 Special, that was a banger. Buster Brick Nick, Mr. Chow Hall, like this whole album from beginning to end is nothing but bangers. A great album by Benny the Butcher, and every album just keeps getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to what he's gonna drop next. Love the production on here. As that good Griselda sound, that boom bap, and it was great. Great album.
Yeah, dope choice. Number 3, gotta go with the man of the album, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. You know what I'm saying? This is the only album on this. Wait, do I have? Yeah, I think it's the only album on this list I actually own currently and stuff
Okay.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers was very, very, very dope record. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I'm not gonna be real with you. It's not as good as Damn. You know what I'm saying? But at the same
Right.
time, that does not make it. That does not make it with failure either, in my personal opinion. I say this is actually his most personal album to date. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope records. Like you have songs like fucking what's my joint? Fucking joint. We Cried Together,
Mhm.
Purple Heart.
That's my joint too.
Yeah, I still got
Mhm.
to see that video. I still
You
got to
know,
see
you
that
haven't
video.
seen it yet?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I gotta. I might do a reaction to it probably sometime and shit like that. But then we have fucking Die Hard. You know what I'm saying? Silent Hill with Kodak Black though. Controversial track because you know Kodak, because you know fucking Kodak Black. You know if you know about him, yeah, and then you know and shit. But um, yeah, man. But this record right here, I know a lot of fans say like this is like the probably the best hip hop record of 2022. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad about that. You know what I'm saying? But there's like two others that I gotta talk about. You know?
Okay. My number 3 is Logic with Vinyl Days. A great album. To me, it's this Logic's best album to date. I love the fact that he didn't rush out and get a whole bunch of beat makers. He did the album mostly on his own, and he's becoming his own beat maker. I know he released a couple beat tapes last year, and this album is a hip hop album. Like this, the whole sound of it is like the feel of it, the songs, the features. Like he definitely went for that nostalgic sound with this album. And having Primo on here and Action Bronson and Russ and Wiz Khalifa, the game. He had a lot of features. Waste of 5'9", RZA. He had a lot of features, but they all were on the right tracks. The beats were fire. The bars were there for a lot. I'm like, yo, and I've heard Logic stuff for years. You know what I'm saying? The Young Sinatra stuff and the Bobby Tarantino stuff, the Everybody albums. I feel like this is his best album. He definitely surprised me with this. 31 tracks. It's 30 tracks. It could have been a double album if he really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to do a 30 track album in this day and age, and it's all fire. You know what I'm saying? And there's some artists that they can't even do a solid 10 track album, and he did 30. And salute to him for doing that, and definitely a great album. I love the album cover with the Marty McFly hoverboard from Back to the Future 2 on there. His son is like
Oh,
in the middle of the picture, and I love that. That album cover is like that's like the what when you hear the album, it's like that's what the album cover would sound like. It would sound like that nostalgia from back in the day. Great album by Logic.
Yes, yes, I agree with you on that part. All right, my number two is Nas for King's Disease 3. My favorite King's Disease, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And in my personal opinion, this is the top five Nas contender. Top five Nas album contender. Like I said, like King's Disease 1, it
Right.
was good, but it had a bit of filler in it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
King's Disease 2 was very excellent. I didn't think you would top King's Disease 2. Magic was very good too, if you
Magic
want to
was great.
count that, but
Like Magic.
King's Disease 3, this was just Nas at his just flexing his lyricism and stuff like that. No guest appearances. He just kills all these fucking tracks. My favorite track on this album, legit. I love the way Hit Boy flipped that five heartbeat sample and
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Michael and Quincy was very good too.
Mhm.
The serious interlude was hot. What the fuck, shaking my head, very good. Like every track on this album was a banger and stuff too. It was like Nas, at his most mature. At the same time, it's just giving you every little bit of pieces, from the previous albums and what made them so great and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This was so close to being my number one, but I felt like there was one other album I personally feel was just the magnum opus of 2022.
All right, number two for me is Pusha T. It's almost dry. Love it. Again, I think this is one of those artists that consistent his whole career from the clips to the solo stuff. Wrath of Kane, and My Name Is My Name, The Darkest Before Dawn, Daytona was a classic. This was no different. This was definitely great. Love the production, the Neptunes and Kanye, Diet Coke, one of the illest joints on here. Brambleton, Open Air, Let the Smokers Shine, the Coops. I loved it, man. Hear Me Clearly was one of my favorites as well. A banger, like that's what you want. The drug talk, you got the bars, you got the production. That's everything that you want when you're doing a rap album like that. And I thought it was flawless. So flawless album, no skips. That's what he do. Like and Pusha don't come out often, so it's like every couple of years when he drops something, you know it's gonna be fire, and that's what I like. That he doesn't rush a project out. If he comes out in another 3 4 years, it's gonna be another banger too. And every project has been great. So um, definitely it could have been number one, but if nothing dropped, it probably would have been number one for me. But this is definitely another solid album from Pusha. So
You know what's crazy? That's actually my number one.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah, and if you guys watch this channel a lot, I praise this album literally all year.
Right.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is better than Daytona.
Okay.
This better than Daytona. Because I said this on a couple of people. They looked at me like I was kind of crazy. I was like, Pusha stepped his game up. Like Daytona was good.
I
Daytona,
don't I don't know how I would rank his solo stuff because I feel like it's close because I love My Name Is My Name.
yeah,
Wrath the King was fire. Darkest Before
fire.
Dawn was you know what I'm saying? It's that would be tough. That would be tough. Like to like where would you rank It's Almost Dry with Daytona and the other ones? You know what I'm saying? So
To me, it's gonna be number one, Almost Dry. Number two, Daytona. Number three, My Name Is My Name. Because niggas don't talk about My Name Is My Name
they
though.
don't.
They don't
That
talk about
that
that one.
was solid, yo. I had that on my iPod on repeat every day, especially that joint he did with Kendrick. Solid.
Oh
Come on, man.
yeah,
Yo,
I'm gonna
I'm
put
like Pusha is that dude. Like people, and the thing is, I don't understand why it's like yo since he's been out solo wise, people complain about he all he does is drug talk. I'm like drug talk been out forever. Cool G
Well,
Rap was
all
doing
Future
drug
does
talk
is talk
forever.
about
Like nobody complained back then when he was dropping shit with DJ Polo.
well, all Future does talk about is lean and fucking girls and stuff like that. Y'all don't complain about
You
that
know what I'm
shit.
saying? I love Cypress Hill. For the majority of their career, they talked about nothing but smoking. Did anybody complain then?
Because they were
You know
getting
what I'm saying?
high from that shit.
When they were dropping hits from the bong and I want to get high, and you know what I'm saying? It's like that if that's his lane, that's his lane. That's what he's good at. Not everybody's gonna be philosophical and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's why you have different artists for different people.
I agree.
And it's not like he can't switch up. Like Conway switched up. There was a time when I said the same thing about Conway. Like Conway talk about the same shit. He switched it up. So it's not like Pusha can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think it's drug talk at its finest, and you got banging ass production behind it. And it for me it would be hard to rank his solo stuff because I love My Name Is My Name. I think it would be top three with Daytona. With this one, I don't know if it will be top three. Maybe it might be four. But I think Darkest Before Dawn was solid. Wrath of Cain was solid. So I don't know. That would be a tough one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all because one thing I may do like a lot of ragging on the Clips Lord Willing album and stuff like that, but one thing I can always say was that Push has always been lyrically consistent. You know what I'm saying? Especially around this time in his career and
Right.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's crazy. It's crazy too because like Drake talks about the same bullshit all the fucking time. We don't get mad at Drake.
That's his lane. His lane is the women. That's his thing. But it's not like he can't switch it up. He could do it if he wanted to.
You say he couldn't do it if you wanted to?
He could switch it up if he wanted to switch it up and just talk about some shit that he normally wouldn't. He could do it. But his thing, he's a pop artist. His thing is the girls. That's his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That is another reason why people will never put him in that same Mount Rushmore with a Kendrick and Cole because he's doing what he's doing, and what Kendrick and Cole is doing is totally different from what Drake is doing.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, he's outselling all of them though. That's the thing. But content wise and lyrics, he's not in that same conversation.
Yeah, you're right about that. Trust and believe. You're right about that. Yeah, this is actually my favorite record, hip hop wise, from 2022. You know what I'm saying? I love songs like Dreaming of the Past, Neck and Wrist, Diet Coke, Hear Me Clearly, Call My Bluff. I mean, everything on this record was just banging and banging and banging. It's kind of ironic too because it might be the last album he might do with fucking
Right.
good music and shit too. But he went out with the fucking bang.
I think Pusha can do an album with anybody though. You know what I'm saying? I think he's from that cloth of the '90s. I think he can do an album with anybody at this point. If you put him in the studio with Madlib, I think he'll have a classic album with Madlib. I think he talked about that too. I think he mentioned that he wanted to do shit with Madlib.
Oh wow.
Number one for me is Nas. Kings of These Three to me is the best one in the trilogy. Now I was not a fan of 1 and 2. I liked a couple songs on both of those albums, but I wasn't a fan. I wasn't sold yet on Hit Boy. And the thing is, I know Hit Boy from all the other stuff he's done for everybody else, and I wasn't sold yet. And then when he came out with even with the Benny album, I'm like, yo, like he gave Benny fire. I was waiting for that type of production for Nas, and he delivered with Magic. Magic is a great album, even though it's 9 songs. That was Nasty Nas in 2020. What was that? 2021. That was a great album. And then he delivered again with this album. I was like, okay, I'm sold on Hit Boy with Nas. And A lot of the every track on here was a banger. Like, Reminisce, love that joint. I'm on fire. Hood to Hood, Done, Legit, like you had mentioned. Get Light, that club banger. Every joint on here was great. Like we did a great review on that album. Every joint on there was great. The production was solid. And Nas, I just mentioned to somebody a couple hours ago. I'm like, they wanted to know, well, who's the hottest artist right now? I'm like, Nas is the hottest artist right now. What artist right now is having a hotter run than Nas? You know what I'm saying? Like, to
Right.
reinvent itself for this generation and drop King's Disease 1 and 2, drop Magic, and then drop right after that KD3, best album of the year. There's nobody that's having a hotter run than Nas right now. You know what I'm saying? And he's back. This is the Nas I was waiting for when we talked about those 2000s albums and how they were hit and miss, and I felt like he was done. And Hit Boy bought that second life, for Nas with these projects, and he's back. He is back. You know what I'm saying? And I know he mentioned the Primo. I would love to hear Nas and Primo finally. Like, that's the album I've been wanting to hear since Illmatic. That is a must. We must have Illmatic. We must have not even Illmatic. We must have Nas and Primo for a full album. Because as much as people love the Hit Boy stuff, I think they would go nuts with a whole Primo album with Nas. That is the album that I'm waiting for. And he is back now to do it. He's back where he should be. And I'm ready. I'm definitely ready. You know what I'm saying? He went on tour with Wu-Tang Clan, and that was a great tour. And he's back. This is Nas reborn again. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of great albums that came out last year. If Nas didn't come out last year, I probably would have had Pusha as my number one. Maybe Logic, even because Logic Vinyl Days was a great album, but Nas came out, so he's number one, and he didn't disappoint. He did not disappoint. Like, every track on there was bad. I didn't feel that way about 1 and 2. They were joints on 1 and 2, like mainly like Ultra Black, the Firm Reunion, the joint that Charlie Wilson was on. I forgot the name of that joint. Those joints I like. Volume 2, the Death Row, was it Death Row East? That joint I liked. The joint he had with what was that? The joint with Lauryn Hill, that was dope. But I didn't like the whole album for 1 and 2. But when Magic came out, I was like, okay, Hit Boy, I like this joint, and we got Nasty Nas on that, And then when he came out with this, I'm like, now I'm sold on Hit Boy and Nas. So if they ever did like another album together, I'm checking for that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was a great album. He's still lyrically sharp. Again, like an artist now in this day and age to do a whole album with no features at all. That's who's doing that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people that's doing that. Even some of our favorite lyricists, the albums that they dropped last year, they had features like Conway, Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? Currency had his features on Continuance. You know what I'm saying? Nas dropped a whole album with Hit Boy. Every song was fire, and he had no features. That goes to show you the legend that this man is. Jay-Z couldn't do that. Jay-Z couldn't do that. There would have to be a Jay-Z album with features on there. You know what I'm saying? And you see the difference with Nas and Jay-Z. Like, that should end all discussions right there. You know
I
what
could
I'm
have
saying?
sworn
Like,
Jay had no features on 444.
but yeah, but is it a classic album though? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
The 444 was good.
Oh wait,
But like,
yeah,
when that
he
shit
did have
dropped,
features.
people was already ranking it top 5 from Jay. So y'all didn't hear Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint, American Gangster. Volume 1, Volume 2, Dynasty album. You know what I'm saying? I'm like top 5. No, not even. You know what I'm saying? So this album right here, this to me album. If I had to like compare 444 versus KD3, who's winning that? KD3 is winning that easily. It's not even close. It's better production, it's better songs on this album compared to 444. You know what I'm saying? At least for me. You know what I'm saying? There's people that love 444. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of my favorite Jay-Z albums though. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with 90, I grew not even with 96 J, I grew up with 95 J when he was dropping Dead Presidents in, you know, what's the other joint? In My Lifetime. You know, I Can't Get With That. 94, 95 J I grew up with. I didn't even grow up with Reasonable Doubt. That Reasonable Doubt came later. Everybody else grew up with 96 Hove, or some of them grew up with a Blueprint Hove, but it's not the same Jay. You say Nas literally died and came back, reborn with this trilogy, and then dropped the extra album with Magic. He's back, and at this point, I don't think he's gonna let us down and give us another Hip Hop Is Dead album. You know what I'm saying? Or another Nasir album. Like, he's on a great run. He got his first Grammy because of Hit Boy. Who would have thought? When he deserved a shitload of Grammys in the past for Illmatic, and It Was Written, and Stillmatic, he got snubbed. He finally got his Grammy because of Hit Boy. So he can't stop now. I'm loving the journey that he's on. Like, it's a journey of a legendary artist that we all grew up on, and we seen him, back on top. So I'm ready for that Primo album. That has to happen.
I agree.
This was a great album.
Yes, I agree with this everything that you said and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me hurry up and talk about these honorable mentions because I'm trying to
Sam
talk
said
about.
I hate Drake and 20. I didn't even mention Drake and 21 Savage. Is that an honorable mention for you?
Hell no.
I heard the album. I never said that it was making my list. I heard the Drake album because I've always been a fan of Drake from the comeback season, and the So Far Gone mixtapes. I've always been a fan of Drake, but he got his albums that I didn't care for, like Views and More Life, that shit. But if you listen to the Her Loss album, it's like what, like 17 tracks. Half of them is with Drake. I believe like 21 Savage is only like on 7 songs. It's basically a Drake album featuring 21 Savage. It's not like a full collab album where they taking turns on each track. It's mostly Drake on that album. You know what I'm saying? But that album wasn't making my list anyway.
Yeah. But hold that thought. I think I left him in my car right there. Let me go to my car right quick. But this was a good list.
How many honorable mentions you mentioning?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say them once I come back to my car. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Damn, this is gonna be hard. It's a lot of good albums that came out. Kendrick's album was cool. I wasn't like in love with everything on there though. There's a couple songs that I liked. What's your favorite albums of last year? Like top three favorite rap albums. De La Soul is dead or in dead Lauren Theory? Oh man. That's a hard choice, Sam. I don't know. I love both of those albums equally. Like both of those albums, I was like still in junior high when they came out, man. Um I couldn't even choose between them. That's a hard choice. De La Soul is dead. That's one of my favorite De La albums, like top three. When you had like Oodles of O's and roller skating jamming Saturday and what else was on that joint? The Ring Ring joint, like that album was great. Low End Theory, another great album. Top two for me with Midnight Marauders. Scenario, classic posse joint, Excursions. When that started off the album, Butter, so many joints. Check the Rom, two classic albums. I can't even choose between them. Both of them are like my favorite. Yeah, a lot of people love the Kendrick album. Like he had some dope joints. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like I don't know. It's just some of the songs I could do without. I feel like he was trying something different with that album. Um, but it's Kendrick, so people are still gonna love it anyway. They even let die or Sex and Violence. That's a good one too. I love Sex and Violence, a great BDP album. I love the album cover for that too. That was great. Live and Let Die was great. That was a great album from Cool G Rap and Polo. And again, you can't go wrong with either. Both of those were classic albums. And
I'm back. What y'all talking about?
talking about people's favorite albums from last year.
Oh, facts. Whew, I found my
Let
phone
me just get
charger. I was tripping.
wild card predictions. My Giants is beating Minnesota, and we gonna bust Philly's ass too. That's my prediction. That's the only team I care about in the playoffs right now. Giants over Minnesota, and then we gonna fuck Philly up, and that's all I care about.
All right. So since I'm back now, I want to talk about some of my honorable mentions. I got about four honorable mentions I want to discuss. Believe me, I really wanted to include all of these on a list, but you know what? No, they're all going to get mentioned in some capacity, one way or another.
Right.
So here it goes. This might be my most controversial choice. But I got to go with my honorable mention number one, Megan Thee Stallion, Traumatized.
Okay.
Like I
Well, you
said,
have a thing for Megan. She cute, but I don't care to hear her rap.
not a thing for Megan.
She cute, but I don't want to hear her rap, and I think she still lied about that shooting, but that's a different story.
Well, this album is miles better than the fucking Good News album, which I did not fucking like.
Okay.
But she was actually rapping on this album and stuff like that too. Production wise, it was pretty good. It had a dark, kind of trap kind of sound and stuff. Like I like consistency. I like fucking Anxiety was dope. Plan B. like it was for the most part. I like everything. Maybe two tracks I could have done without. You know what I'm saying? But she mostly did that just shit for singles. You know
Right.
what I'm saying too. So yeah, I mean, if I do a review on this album, maybe not, maybe so I might do it. You know, just to expand more of my thoughts on it. But yeah, despite what's going on with the shooting, that's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna mention number two, and I really wanted to include this one. It's Earl Sweatshirt was sick. This is like one of the first hip hop albums released this year. You know what I'm saying? Lately Earl's been kind of on some. Lately Earl's been on some shit lately and stuff like that too. You know, Alchemist was of course on this record. This album definitely had like a more smoother, laid back kind of sound to it. You know what I'm saying? It was very short. That
Yeah.
was my main issue. It was like 10 tracks
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that too. But it's not touching like some of his best work. Like of course Doors. It's not touching that. I do
Right.
believe this album's way better than some rap songs. Which that album was okay. I wasn't really the biggest fan of that record like that. But yeah, honorable mention number three. I got to go with Logic with Final Days. Um, again, you know, Logic definitely is an MT I like, and I kind of like a side eye sometimes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, I do like the Everybody True Story record, and that was probably my favorite Logic album. I mean, Incredible True Story. Everybody was also good too, but then everything else, and I'm also going to throw in Under the Pressure too. I was very hit or miss about, you know what I'm saying? But Vinyl Days, yeah, he came back with that one and stuff like that. Very boom bapish. It's 30 tracks, but
Right.
literally it's still quality right here. You know what I'm saying? I love Porter One with RZA. You know what I'm saying? I love that joint right there. Carnival with AZ was dope. You know, Rogue One was good too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we did a review on this track, this album right here too. And
Mm-hmm.
then my last honorable mention is Currency and Alchemist Continuance. Again, I really wanted to include this record on the list and shit like that too. You know, so I feel like out of all the honorable mentions, this one is the closest to actually being on the list. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, Half Moon Mornings, Cool in the Gang was very dope tracks right there too. Yeah, the irony. Tonight Show was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? No Yeast was good too. You know what I'm saying too. So yeah, Currency. I mean, I never expected anything bad from Currency and shit like that too. But you know what? Him and Alchemist need to do some more work together.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. My first one is Absol Herbert. Great album. You know, I checked out of Absol after controlled was it control system,
Hmm.
and this album to me, like he came back with this one. The production was great. The bars were great. The songs, the content. This was a great album. Like there was no bad songs on this album. Like I felt like everything on here was solid. You know, when you get joints like FOMF and Nova Pork Card, Moon Shooter, Gangnam. I think this is a great album, and he had like different sounds on this album as well. And I said this like a couple days ago. I like this album more than Kendrick's one. I think Kendrick was trying different shit with the Mr. Morales. A lot of those songs I didn't care for, except for like the more important songs, like the song where he talked about his uncle being a transgender. And that was a great song. The domestic violence song was We Cry Together. That was great. A lot of those other songs I didn't care for. You know what I'm saying? And this album, I'm like, yo, like, never thought I would say Absol had a better album than Kendrick. But to me, Herbert was great. I think that's his best album. Again, um, it was definitely fire. It probably should have been in the top 10. Like I was thinking if I had to take out an album from the top 10, and maybe it might have been Ransom, but Absol's album was great. Definitely enjoyed it. Larry June, this dude is going to be the next hottest thing. I promise you that. Larry June, Spaceships on the Blade, great album. I've checked this stuff out for like the last year or two. A lot of his projects are fire. I love that old school like pimp shit, the old school R&B production he has on his tracks, and he's dope, man. He had a lot of bangers on here. You know, Private Valet, Don't Check Me, Things You Do. What's the other joint I liked on here? In My Pockets, that was a banger as well. Larry June is definitely gonna be the next one to blow up, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think everybody know about him just yet, but he's definitely gonna blow up. I want to say he's doing an album with Alchemist. Supposedly it might be dropping this year or whatever. And I think that album might be the album that people check for, and then they'll go back and they hear his stuff. But Larry June is definitely dope. You know, I fuck with his shit. I believe he's from Fresno, Cali. Shout out to Fresno. I think Killer Tapes is from Fresno. Shout out to Killer Tapes, and that's a dope album. Boldy James and Nicholas Craven, Fair Exchange No Robbery was fire. I love Boldy James stuff from the was it my first chemistry set that joint he did with Alchemist back in like I think like 2013, 2014. Boldy James is dope. Um love this love a lot of his albums. You know, he this one didn't disappoint. This one felt more like it had like a winter sound to it. Like the album cover is dope, and he's like it's like a little log cabin or whatever with like you know in like a forest with snow all over the place. But the actual sound of it has like a winter sound. And you hear like Town and Country. That was a dope track. Straight and Tall, Scrabble. You know, Nicholas Craven is highly underrated. He's a dope ass underground producer. He did a lot of albums with different artists already, and I think I didn't see this one coming, so this is like something that came out, and I checked it. And I'm like, oh, this shit is actually dope. And yeah, this is definitely a banging album. Shout out to Boldy James. And it's gonna be hard, man. That's three. I'm gonna pick Amani Caesar because like I was trying to include a female, and I like Shane Noah dropped like 2 albums last year. Food for Thought, I would have picked that one. I think that came out early in the year though. That was like January, February that came out last year, and she produced everything on that album. That album was fire. But I liked Amani Caesar's The Liz Part 2. I think it was better than the first one, and the production was dope. She had her features as well, and she was trying different things on this one. She was doing a little bit more singing on this one. And when you got joints like Paula Dean with Westside Gun, that was a banger. The Kodak Black joint and I don't even like Kodak Black, and he sounded dope with her on Diana. That's my joint. The Mel Gibson joint was fire. There's a lot of joint. Meth and Mary, I like that joint as well. It was a banger. I definitely enjoyed this one more than the first one. And I know she said she's coming out with another album this year, so I'm gonna be checking for that. And yeah, this was dope.
Yes. So that's all your honorable mentions.
I mean, there's more, man. Like I don't want to. Capadonna and Stu Bangers, they dropped the album together. 36 Chamber Grill Bars. That was fire. That's probably Capadonna's best album since The Pillage. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's dropped shit since Yin and Yang. We're gonna talk about at some point, and he dropped other shit since then. But I haven't been a fan of those albums. But this album is actually like boom bap Capadonna, like without no RZA and shit. It's just like Capadonna with Stu Bangers, and it's just a boom bap album, and it's dope. And I love the album cover for it as well. That was a classic album cover. And yeah, there's like joints that came out that you know like I said, like last year was a great year for hip hop. We had a lot of bangers last year. Federal Star dropped the solo album Jazz. That was fire. He produced that all himself.
Oh
like.
shit! I forgot about the Onyx record.
Oh yeah, Onyx versus Everybody. That was a banger too. I told BJ to pick that shit up. He saw that in the record store. I'm like, BJ, you don't fuck with Onyx? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that album was fire, and I've loved the stuff that they done with the Snow Goons in the last couple of years. Like they've been dropping heat, and they still got that Onyx sound. And yeah, that was a banging ass album too. You know, Loyal Corner. He's a new artist from overseas, and a couple of my people from overseas that put me onto him. And he dropped the album called Hugo, and I like that. The only problem with that, because he has an accent, I can't really understand everything that he's saying. But the production on there was banging, and he got bars, and I think he might need to do a feature with like somebody to really blow up here in the States. But I think he's gonna be like an artist to check for. So his album was dope. Willie the Kid, he dropped the album, Deutsch Marks 3, that was a banger. I've always loved Willie the Kid stuff. He's the brother to a lot of Darkman. Um, a lot of shit came out last year though. Like you mentioned, All Sweatshirt. That I remember listening to that. I'm like, yo, the only two songs I liked was the Alchemist joints. I didn't like anything else off of that album.
I feel
You know what I'm
you.
saying? Like it wasn't. I don't know, man. Like I felt like after Doris is like, how can he top Doris? He hasn't done it. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was okay. I just felt like I'm like, and yeah, and it was short. It was like 10 tracks. I'm like, come on, man. Don't do the 10 track thing, because you know what I'm saying, you don't do that. You know what I mean? I wasn't feeling it. And that came out early last year too. I think that was like a January release too. And that came out around the
Yeah,
same
that was
time.
like second week in January.
Yeah, that came out around the same time as Corday's album. And Corday's album I listened to, and I didn't like that album at all either. And that was supposed to be like his like coming out party type of album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was heavily promoted. He had Stevie Wonder on that album and everything. And I don't know what happened with the album. Like the label didn't promote it, and it fell flat. You know, Cormega the Realness. What did you think about that album?
I still have yet to listen to the album. Believe it or
I
not.
heard it. I didn't like it. Um, it might have been like maybe two or three songs that I liked. I know a lot of people loved it. I'm like, I didn't care for it. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have just stuck with the realness, and he didn't really need a sequel for this. Um, it was a lot. Rome Streets album. I didn't care for that, and that was his Griselda debut. I don't know. I didn't care for that. The production on that. Um, it was a lot. There was a lot of shit that dropped. Big Pooh dropped a solo album from a little brother. Didn't like the production on that. Um, the Mussolini and Ninth Wonder. I don't know how many people know about Mussolini. The Mussolini and Ninth Wonder. He dropped the album with him. That was fire. That was like, I want to say that came out in February last year. And then he came out with another album with Crisis later on. The Crisis album was cool, but I liked the Ninth Wonder production. It was like some real smooth 70s type of production, some real, like pimp shit. That was dope too. Um RZA dropped two projects last year. The project he dropped with DJ Scratch was good because it had like the vintage DJ Scratch production, like from back when he did stuff with Busta Rhymes on, When Disaster Strikes and ELE. That one I liked. The second one he had when he came out with the comic book, I didn't really care for that production. But the joint he did with it was a short project. It was might have been like 6-7 tracks with DJ Scratch, and that was a banger though. Like RZA really came back with Bobby Digi, and I like that he came back with that character, and he's doing this thing. Joy Badass 2000 was a great comeback album for him. Lloyd Banks came back out,
I
with the
forgot
Kurt.
about this too.
Yeah, Banks album was fire. Um, Prodigy's daughter. You know, Prodigy has a daughter that's rapping.
Yeah, her album was dope.
I enjoyed it, and she's kind of like balancing, like she had Alchemist on there, so she's kind of like balancing like the boom bap with like she's doing like sort of like the Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj type of joints for the chicks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're getting like the pop joints and then you're getting like the boom bap joints. But I think her album got slept on because I don't. A lot of people don't know that Prodigy's daughter is rapping. They didn't even know he had a daughter, and then they didn't know that his daughter is actually rapping. And like she's being I don't want to say like she's being co-signed, but she's basically being co-signed by like Infamous Mob and Havoc and Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? So her album was dope. I want to hear more from her because she's dropped a lot of 12-inch singles in the past. This is like her first like real album, but I want to hear more albums from her though. But she's dope so far. I got to hear more from her. But yeah, she dropped the album Girl Next Door that came out last year. Check it out. She has a YouTube channel as well. A lot of videos that she's done for a lot of the singles is out on her channel. Um, Dress from Black Sheep, he dropped the EP with Stu Bangers. It's called Sheep Stew. They dropped about 5 videos. It's actually banging. I'm like, I wish we had gotten that type of production on the Black Sheep second album. I never liked the sophomore album from them, but that's
Oh,
another
you
story.
crazy?
But I know you like it. I know you like nonfiction. I never cared for it though. But Sheep Stew was banging. It should have been a complete full album though. But they dropped 5 songs and it was fire. I definitely enjoyed that. But there was a lot of albums that came out last year. Like there's still albums from last year that I haven't heard that I'm still like checking out on my list. So, but last year was a good year. It was a good year for hip hop.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man. I'm actually ready to end this video off right here. I gotta get some sleep in the morning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope list from both ends, honestly. You know what I'm saying? We could have done a top 20 to be real,
Right?
but
Yeah,
you
you
know
should did
what?
top 20, yeah.
Yeah. But
You want to do an R&B? Is there any? Have you checked on any R&B albums last year or no?
there's been some good R&B records, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. Some R&B records this year, some of them were good. Some of them, I'm not really gonna put like on the same level as some of the hip hop albums and stuff like that too. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I'll see. Let me see about the R&B. I'll let you know about that.
Yeah.
But I do know like albums like fucking Babyface's album is gonna
Yeah, that
be
was
up
good.
there and stuff like that
Yeah,
too.
that was good.
Maybe Scissors, but I'm not gonna put it as high as many other people. To be real with you, but I have to relook at some of the R&B choices of this year because
Right.
my mind was all in the hip hop and shit. But yeah, man. Friday at 6 p.m. We about to do the double review of fucking Spice One's first 2 albums, West Coast Legend. Really can't wait to talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And Mike is joining us for that. You said
Yeah, Mike's joining us.
Mike likes Spice One. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
he
dope.
fucks with Spice One. Yeah,
That's dope.
you know what I'm saying. We got West Coast. You know, Friday and stuff like that too. And then Sunday, and I got my work schedule too. And
Yeah.
Sunday we're gonna do Mac Miller's. You know the
Good
good
AM.
AM album stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good AM. Yeah, that's really can't wait to talk about that one. First Mac Miller, first Mac Miller review we're gonna do on his channel and stuff like that too. So, and I'm gonna send you the schedule either tonight or tomorrow because the week after next, that's when I'm gonna go on my break and shit like that too. So yeah, so I probably won't come back to from doing reviews maybe till like March and stuff like that. So
Eric, what's
yeah,
good,
man.
yo? I got the thing in the mail from you. Thanks again.
Oh, what's up, Eric? I didn't even see your comment and shit.
Yes, and while Reg is on break, I'm gonna be doing a couple of new segments on my channel, and one of them was planned like 3-4 years, and I waited till now. I think now's the right time to do it. So once you're not gonna see. It's not like gonna be like the Reg is going away. You're not gonna see him till March. 'Cause I got some shit planned, and it's gonna be fun. you know, and
Yeah, I can't
again,
wait for that.
it's just doing some different shit, and I can't wait because, like I said, like I planned it. I'm like, yo, I was like thinking like when could I do it? I'm like, yo, this is the perfect time to do it now. Now that you're going on break, so people it's not gonna be like oh well he's gone for like 2 months. You're not gonna see him. You're gonna see him still. He's just gonna be on my channel. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be dope. So like right after you go on break, like that Monday, we're gonna do like the first shit.
All right, bro. Just let me know. We got this shit handled and stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And yeah, the top 100 R&B is that gonna be before you leave or when you come back?
Like I'm gonna let you know. 'Cause I already got
Because
a.
right now I gotta like yo. I thought it was gonna be like before when you said it was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be like 150 or some shit, and then you said 100. So then it's like maybe
Oh, you're
30
talking about
albums I gotta
top
take.
100.
Oh, it's top
Yeah,
100.
yeah, top 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like 30 albums I gotta take off the list. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the hard part is like for certain artists, do you put multiple albums for them or is it just gonna be one album for them? You know, like for Michael,
Multiple
it
albums.
gotta
You
be
can do
more than
that.
just one. Huh?
You can do multiple albums for an artist.
I know, but I'm saying, but that's the hard part because like I can't put everything from Janet. I can't put everything from Michael or Prince. So it's like I have to choose like maybe two, the best two or three, and even then that might not be enough. But there might be certain artists where it's multiple albums, compared to others. And people are gonna have shit to say. Oh, why you didn't put off the wall? Why you just put Thriller in? You know what I'm saying? That's the joy of doing these lists, though. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Eric, if you're free Friday at 6, you can join for that Spice One review and shit. But yeah, man. So without further ado, I'm gonna wish y'all a good fucking night. I will see y'all on Friday. Appreciate
All
this
right,
try as usual. Peace.
no doubt. Peace.